It's almost like we've been conditioned so well through such a long process that now it is us who are enslaving ourselves mentally.
Because the job has already been...
The job has been
If
done.
you know you're a corrupt African leader, you're a stupid and you're a useless person. You know how heartless you have to be to steal from dying people in hospitals, to steal from kids who are receiving the lowest quality of education, to steal from hard-working Africans, from hard-working tax-paying Africans who are working 10 to 12 hours a day. You must be a stupid person. You must be a useless person. And after all, what are you going to do with that money? You're going to spend it on stupid things like expensive cars, like expensive jewelry, like, unnecessary, expensive, big, colossal mansions at the expense of us. You are a stupid, you're a useless person.
If you're not African, please scroll. And if you're African, but religion has made you deaf to logic, please scroll as well, because what I'm about to say will not massage your religious ego. You will bruise it instead. You will confront the spell under which you live. Let's get one thing straight. Prayer doesn't change nations. People do. Systems do. Leadership does. Education does. And until we Africans understand that, we'll keep kneeling while the world keeps building.
The universe is like a mirror. It doesn't have time to check whether you deserve something or not. It doesn't respond to morality. It mirrors your vibration and frequency. Have you thought about why some of the people you define as bad always win, and then the ones you define as good always struggles? Listen, one thing you should keep in mind is that the universe doesn't say no to thoughts. In one of my previous videos, I said that the universe always says yes to your beliefs and your thoughts. The universe is always responding to you according to your energy and vibration.
My whole perspective and understanding has changed dramatically, and I would like you to tell us more about this subject.
The success of Muhammadan Islam in deceiving, misinforming, deforming, and contorting both history and reality over a period of almost 1400 years has been astounding. That is, until now. The greatest tragedy about this particular subject is that most of the descendants of African slavery, the black people in the Americas, around the world, as well as among the African blacks, are totally ignorant of the actual facts. Before we lose the concentration of our listeners, I would like to make the following statement and then prove it. That the worst, most inhumane and most diabolical institution of the black African slave trade was initiated, refined, perpetrated, and implemented by the Mohammedan Arabs and later aided and abetted by the black converts to Mohammedan Islam.
When you hear the word, the noun Arab, what racial image comes into your mind? Is this the common image that you think of, or this? And do you think that's correct? Who is an Arab? Is an Arab a Semite? Where did they come from? The areas that we are concerned with. But let us all know that there is no Middle East at all. It is a created zone, now known as Middle East, consists of 22 so-called Arab countries, left the marks. All this is entertainment, it's movies, it's not authentic. These are not either Hebrews, are not either Arabs, they are not even Africans. You can see who they are. Here is the Arab, here is the African, here is the Hebrew, here is the authentic Muntu, authentic Bantu. This is the authentic Buddha. No two ways about that. There is no other Buddha before this. This is Buddha Gautama Kutama. There is a place named after him in Zimbabwe, Buddha. Right?
You people like to say, let's forget, let's not blame anyone. Please stop that nonsense. When the Holocaust happened against the Jews, it was 1940s, 45. Not a single African country other than Ethiopia and those who had not been colonized was free. The first African country got independent 1957. There is not a single Jewish person who will allow you to forget the Holocaust. And in fact, there are crimes, not just in Israel, across the world against denial of the Holocaust.
But the Holocaust is being implemented. Black people have been murdered and genocided 50,000 times worse than what happened to y'all. And we are still I'm not done. Okay, let me give you the numbers. Arabs killed 40 million Africans. And that was just during the Arab slave trade. Then the Arabs educated Caucasoids on how to do it. Caucasians have killed over 100 million Indians alone, let alone Africans. So Arabs killed 40 million Africans. Arabs educated Caucasians how to do it. Caucasians, aka Spaniards, which are white people who speak Spanish because Spanish was created in Italy, came and then they killed 20 million Africans. And then the Dutch came and they killed 40 million. And then the British came and they killed 30 million. Then the British came back in the 1900s underneath Leopold and killed 14 million Africans in the early 1900s. Then Mussolini with Hitler came behind him and killed 40 million. And then when the Pilgrims came over here, the Dutch, the French, and the Spaniards was already over here murdering people. But then the European Pilgrims came and they killed 100 million just off zoonotic diseases and bad hygiene. So if we were to add up the body count of black people in comparison with the Holocaust,
many Christians, some of you are watching me right now, you are mad. You're getting angry. You're getting worked up because I am saying that I don't believe in a white Jesus with blue eyes. No, you cannot say that. You are denying Jesus. Why did you allow the white people to make a white idol and you never complained? Now I'm saying it, you are getting angry. Why are you angry? You are not angry with me. You are angry with yourself. That you have been lied to for a long time. And for the first time you meet information on your face, and it's causing lots of what we call here psychological misunderstanding, cognitive dissonance in a more professional psychological language. It's your own conflict in your own mind with your own belief system. Decolonize God. Number two,
Jesus picture is one of the greatest weapons of mass destruction in the black community. When a black boy or girl goes to Sunday school and look at a white Jesus from birth until age 5, by the time they go to kindergarten, they have already been convinced that if God is white, then it's okay for the president to be white. It's okay for the judge to be white. It's okay for the CEO to be white. It's okay for the police to be white, because if God is white, then all white people must be of God. And it puts you in a subservient posture. And if God is white, then the devil must automatically be black by contraindication, which is why black folks got to stop worshiping a white Jesus. You cannot talk about black power giving your child the deity of an enemy for worship. No people worships their deity in the image of their enemy or oppressor. No one does except slaves.
And you are the God, black woman and black man and black child. You are the one they have been trying to oppress, because you are powerful beyond measure and they are scared of you. And remember, there is no ending to you. You are infinite being. Your ancestors, they knew death was not the end, but the beginning for another life. And you don't die, you only transition and transcend. So stop telling yourself lies and still going to churches thinking there's an end for you and you have to seek salvation by accepting Jesus. Jesus Christ does not exist as a being, but a story sold to manipulate you and steal your power blindly.
The church, or the ideology of church, or the concept of church, hurt African people, hurt Caribbean people. There is a lot that we have to do to mend as a people, as a community, and the church hasn't been able to fix that. It hasn't. We are not one. We're not one unity. We have a lot of problems in our community, and church has not helped at. Well, I can't say at all, but we're still in a very bad place, and that's the bigger picture. Because I'm hearing little sound bites of the church not meant to be this, the church not meant to be that. We were doing all right actually before those boats, those ships came over.
Church is a place where slaves are taught not to use their brain, because Christianity hates questioning. They want you to believe. What is the meaning of belief? A lot of people don't know the meaning. This English belief, what is the meaning? People believe because you don't know. They convince you to believe. Belief is just a doubt. You cannot believe when you know. You believe because you don't know. That's why you believe. What is belief? What are you believing? Believing that Christ died for you and the European man died for a black man. Are you okay? you are believing that they are a better place more than here on earth, that you will go and enjoy eternity. See the way they program you to believe rubbish. You are just programmed. You can't think for yourself. Christianity and the Bible beliefs make a PhD holder a stupid person because you don't have sense. When you became Christian, your brain will lose. You cannot think again.
The people that have dealt much with the Igbo people is the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church has made sure that everything the Igbo people represent was rubbed to the mud. And that will explain. Who is Bishop Shanahan? Bishop Shanahan was the man that made sure that every Igbo people today sees Ekwensu as Satan.
Bashing Christianity. I'm speaking about Christianity. You get offended because you are a Christian listening to a non-Christian speaking about Christianity. Because I'm not speaking for Christianity. I'm not advocating Christianity. I'm not preaching Christianity. I'm preaching open-mindedness.
Yes. Understand what church is for. Church supposed to connect you with God. Amen. That's what church is for. That's right. No, God have never sent a preacher and put him in a pulpit that teach you about a prosperity plan. That's right. God ain't did that. No. Never. God got America with your name on it. God don't want you to be poor. Amen. God want everybody to be millionaires. Everybody rich. You Bible carrying church going suckers.
For those of you who identify as Christians and you are an African, I need you to watch the following video and I will be back with my thoughts.
God's word, it will lead to fragmentation of the Anglican communion. Perhaps he's wrong. Perhaps it's time for a new colonialism where we enlightened ones in the West with our gender identity politics should tell African and Asian Christians what to believe. Why not? We've done it before.
So you heard the man. He said, once upon a time, we took this religion to the Africans and to the Asians. We told those people what to think and what to believe. And now we are on to the subject of the LGBT. We need to go back and recolonize them and tell them what to think and what to believe. If that is not an admission in 2023 of the crime that this religion has perpetrated in Africa, I wonder what is.
Where did the story of Jesus start? It started 4,100 years before Jesus. It started with the story of Isis, and who became pregnant by an immaculate conception, gave birth to her son Horus by a virgin birth. Horus, who at the age of 12 removed himself from his population and went further south into Egypt at the Grand Lodge of Luxor.
You're a Christian and you follow the 10 Commandments. Do you even know where they come from? If you don't, I'll tell you. As I've always said, the Bible is a plagiarized document that was used to lure slaves into fear. Those which the Christians call the 10 Commandments were nothing but affirmations from the 42 laws of ancient African goddess from Kemet called Mars.
Or the devil is the creation of the Abrahamic religion, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. These characters do not exist in African spirituality. We don't know what is Satan, we don't know what is the devil. The deity you refer to as Satan or the devil today is simply a Eurocentric error. Inability of the West to understand the significance of the deities to our people. In the West, they have their own deities. Ares,
If you wanted to stop Africa from becoming a superpower, you wouldn't have to invent a new strategy. The blueprint has already been written, tested, and perfected over centuries. You'd start by making sure Africa never unites. The easiest way to do that is by keeping people divided along ethnic, tribal, and religious lines.
Hi guys, today we are going to be discussing a very hot topic. Recently, the former chairman of the Bank of China was sentenced to death. I'm not going to give you much details about this. I just want to use his case to highlight something. He was found guilty of receiving bribe worth over $16 million and illegally issuing loans to some individuals, thereby causing significant losses to the bank.
As a result of this, his political rights were blocked and his personal properties confiscated. Now, welcome to Africa.
And now, stick a pin. This just happened quite recently.
Your colleague, Angela Rayner, you've got a colleague called Matthew Pennycook, a planning minister, said it's not a story. Well, with respect, Secretary of State, this story broke last Sunday. It's still a front page story 8 days on. What do you say about it? She is said to have legally avoided £40,000 stamp duty in the way she designated the new property in Hove, which, by the way, is 270 miles from her constituency. It's apparently now her principal residence.
Angela Rayner has resigned. That is the known. Aggie Chambray is with me, LBC's political correspondent. What are the known unknowns?
So we know that Angela Rayner will leave the government. That means her post as Housing Secretary and her post as Deputy Prime Minister. We don't know at this moment, although I have just in the last few seconds seen a report that she will also resign as Deputy Leader. We know that the Prime Minister has received the report from Sir Laurie Magnus, who's the independent ethics advisor. We don't know whether the Prime Minister sacked Angela Rayner after receiving that report or whether she did indeed resign. It's often quite difficult to work that out in the moment. But if it is right that she has not only resigned as Housing Secretary and as Deputy Prime Minister, but as also as Deputy Leader, then this is an absolutely massive moment.
Leaders in the UK are now made accountable for their actions.
Just as we are recording this video and some politicians are hearing death sentence for bribery, corruption, they have left the group chat. You see, all those people parading the corridors of power in this continent, all of them, from top to bottom, are business people. Yes, all of them are business people. If this kind of a law is put in place in this continent, you see all those at the helm of power in Africa, none of them will be there. They are all business people. And this kind of a law can never be instituted in Africa because right from our presidents down to the lowest staff, even officers on the streets, are so corrupt. Yes, corruption has eaten deep into our veins in this continent to the extent that there is no one even thinking of instituting a law that can eradicate that corruption.
Years ago, we had the church. That was only a way of saying we had each other. The Knights of Columbus were real headbreakers, true guineas. They took over their piece of the city. 20 years after an Irishman couldn't get a fucking job, we had the presidency. May rest in peace. That's what the niggers don't realize. If I got one thing against the black chappies, it's this. No one gives it to you. You have to take it.
Identity is something which contributes to the progress of every nation. Look at the Chinese. You don't see the Chinese trying to behave like European, French, and co. In everything they do, their language comes first before any foreign language. Even their weapons, guns, and missiles, it resembles Chinese made. Look at North Korea. They don't try to act like the British, French, US, and co. They behave Korean. They hold on to their culture and everything. India, the same. The Arabs, the same. But Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Togo, and co. You see Ghanaians becoming more and more European day by day. In this part of Africa, you dress in your culture dress and go to church. They look at you like some juju man. You look more Christian in suit in Africa. To become a Christian in this part of Africa simply means that you should drop your African culture and accept European culture. The Togolese becoming more and more like the French. Nigeria becoming more and more European day by day. We have lost our identity. There was a time Ghana was better than China. But today, China is better than Ghana and US put together.
This. Every African nation deciding to unite, just one agreement. Here's what would happen in the first 30 days. And you will never see day 30 coming. Day 1, leaders sign one historic treaty. Borders open across the continent. No visas, no checkpoint, just one African passport.
Our enemies are many, and they stand ready to pounce upon and exploit our every weakness. They prey upon our vanities and flatter us in every kind of way. They tell us that this particular person or that particular country has greater or more favorable potentialities than the other.
If you're going to start a revolution, I advise that you start with a mirror. You stand before that mirror and like what you see, and say to the person staring at you, you and I are going to change the world. We're not going to wait for a mob to join us. We're not going to wait for tomorrow, because we're going to start right now. Thank you.
Also, do consider, do we believe to survive, or do we survive to believe? To be continued.